nasty. Howdy, 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 howdy. I don't have boots. Wish I had boots. It'd be perfect if I had boots. So, one of my favorite movies of all time that I almost completely forgot about. I remember having to rewind all the VHS tapes for this movie. I think there were 4 of them. It's a 3-hour-long movie, and it's withstood the hands of time. Sands of time? The sands of time. Is it sands of time or hands of time? I guess it really depends. Like right now it's like the LCD of time. It's withstood all of that. 71 critics from Rotten Tomatoes have scored this 97%, and 239 reviewers have given this a 97% as well. It's a pretty good movie if you're just gonna go off of those numbers. It's a really well shot movie. It came out in 1967 and it looks old when you're watching it, but the director's storytelling is amazing. It's a long adventure through the Wild Wild West. It is one of the most iconic, if not the most iconic, spaghetti western of all time. I just recently found out what a spaghetti western is. It's a western directed by an Italian. They actually make fun of that recent Tarantino movie, but that's aside from the point. In this case, that Italian director is Sergio Leone. Sounds very Italian, doesn't it? As a director, he does an excellent job of creating this beautiful picture for the audience of what it was like to actually be in the Wild Wild West. His ability to use the wide-angle lenses or to show the vast and empty, lonely spaces of basically the western frontier. Wide angle, lots of stuff, no people, really lonely. I don't know how else to say it. And then he comes in with those tight-angle lenses, and it creates a strong tension. It helps the actors project onto the audience. And it's the little details like this let you know that passionate Sergio Leone was about this movie. If tension were water, the soundtrack for this movie is the fire under the kettle. Ennio Morricone's soundtrack is the most iconic and recognizable soundtrack of all time. Yeah, looking at you, Titanic. Even if you've never watched this movie, listening to the soundtrack makes you kind of think like, hey, is someone about to shoot me? I gotta pause and look around. This soundtrack has inspired many others to emulate the whistles and the twangy solo guitars and the harmonicas to make it almost synonymous with standoffs as much as blowing wind or tumbleweeds or cactus. In fact, as of recent, when I first turned this movie on, again, it kind of reminded me of a Tarantino movie. He's admitted to being inspired by this movie. Sergio Leone's direction and Morricone's soundtrack combined to make you feel like turning the heat under the kettle on high and then leaving home to head to work. Every great story needs equally great conflict. In comes Lee Van Cleef, who plays Angel Eyes, a merciless bounty hunter who is ruthless as he is cool. He makes this evident within his first few lines in this movie. When I'm paid, I always see the job through. He says this as he shares a meal with his mark, a mere moments before he erases him and his family. Lee Van Cleef is a cold SOB. The Ugly is played by Eli Wallach. His screen time provides a majority of the comic relief. What little dialogue Clint Eastwood's character has is opposite to Eli Wallach's character as Tuco. He is an opportunistic sharpshooter that you find out later isn't bad in nature, but more forced into a life of thievery. He is in fact the anti-hero of this story, and by definition, Tuco's a dirty scoundrel. But the dynamic between him and Clint Eastwood carries a certain synergy and is really fun. But they start off on opposite ends of the spectrum and find themselves complementary to each other as they navigate this 3-hour-long adventure / treasure hunt. Often one-upping each other, but still finding that they actually need each other. Now, are you feeling lucky? This line, that line's not from this movie. Clint Eastwood is, if it wasn't obvious from the title, the good. Doesn't actually have a name in this movie, but they often refer to him as Blondie. I don't know why. He's not really blonde. It would kind of like be referring to me as Brownie. My hair is not brown. Ah! Get rid of this. Blondie is always cool, calm, and in control. And his gun-slinging ability is only matched by none other than Tuco. In fact, I don't think they ever miss a single shot in this movie. Seriously, they have like aimbot. There's never a situation where Clint Eastwood's character is ever out of control. Except for maybe when Tuco actually one-ups him. One-ups him, one-ups. What up, my... Although there is a moment in the movie where Tuco gets the best of him, but it all works out in the end for this cigar-smoking gunslinger. There's backstabbing, there's new friendships, there's new enemies, there's a little taste of history. This movie has everything and something for everybody. It's an adventure / treasure hunt through the West during the Civil War era. It's an imaginative journey of 2 unlikely allies through the lonely lands of a young United States. This movie has many lessons, but its most important lesson is probably that expressed by Stuart Stafford. Never forget those who went out of their way to help or harm you. I was kind of nervous about doing this review. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. And I hope you guys give this movie a chance. You guys can watch this on Netflix. It's a great flick. Give it 3 hours long, and if you're stuck in quarantine, well, you have nothing to lose. Comment down below. Give me a like, thumbs up. Give me a thumbs down. Tell me why you gave me a thumbs down. And I'll see y'all when I see you. Enjoy. Hey, what's up guys? It's your boy squeezybits again. I'm doing a little collaboration with the Geek Bros. Keep an eye out on their content down in the description below. It's gonna be closely related to this video. So I'll see y'all later. I don't know why I keep doing... Oh, I'm gonna... You can't see my feet, but I'm jumping on one foot. Let's go ahead and stop this. I think I'm gonna go stop the setup. Stop the tape, Dr. Dre, operate!